Good day, everyone. We all love a good Genshin Impact tier list. And you know what's even greater than a Genshin Impact tier list? Well, seeing your beloved Kazuha, Bennett, Zhongli, all the characters that people told you that you must pull for, being triple S tier. It just makes you feel good that you were not an idiot, that you did the right thing. You pulled for what other people told you to pull for. I'm just joking, of course. So what on earth are we looking at? So we are at the moment on genshinlab.com, and these good folks have actually compiled to us a character pick rate. So how does this all work? Well, effectively, there are millions of people that play Genshin Impact, and you can imagine it, only about 10% actually reach the Spiral Abyss and play the Spiral Abyss seriously. So for those people that play the Spiral Abyss seriously, and that have actually came onto his website and put in their UID, we will have data for them as regards to what characters they use and what strategies they use to sort of conquer the Spiral Abyss. And hence, since this is more or less a sample of people that play seriously, we could infer some interesting things about meta, or at the very least, which characters are most likely to be used to clear the Spiral Abyss. Now, of course, my data is also in here. We got to keep up those Kokomi pick rates, as well as some other pick rates for other characters. But how do you interpret all of this? Well, the way in which you calculate a pick rate is you got to see how many people use the character, and then you've got to divide it by the number of people that own that character. So it's no use you've got 30,000 people here, but a character is only owned by 5 people, and 4 of them play like the character in the Spiral Abyss, then of course their pick rate will be 80%. So that's just to give a simple example. So do keep in mind that not everyone has all of these characters, and that this 30,000 sample, while it looks a bit like big, not everyone has all the characters, and hence someone, for instance, like Mia could have like only 2,000 players representing her on this tier list. So that is a big caveat to keep in mind. So if we go and rewind the clock, we can see everything starts from last year September, and if we click the nice little play button, you can see Raiden Shogun is starting to go up all the way, of course, because she's absolutely broken, since I've been saying also um, for quite a while now. And hey, here's Kokomi. Kokomi is also climbing, very, very nice. So let's just wait for Kokomi to get a 60-ish pick rate. You can see the sudden swap here is of course with a Spiral Abyss reset. That makes sense. So from the 16th of October all the way up until the 16th of January, and you can confirm this yourself, you can see that Kokomi is roughly sitting at about a, let's average it, let's say it's 65% pick rate for good measure. Now that is pretty consistent, that's pretty high for a character. Now a lot of people might say objection, you know, as a hardcore dedicated theory crafter, Kokomi is not meta, it's only those small number of suckers that pulled on her banner that are using her, and hence you can't make any sort of claims about her meta viability. Now that is sort of a very half-baked way to look at statistics. The thing that a lot of people forget when they try and make arguments like that is, first of all, what is the period under consideration that we're looking at? So someone like Ito here is obviously only out for a month, so if he starts to drop back down, then this would be very interesting, because if you look at Mia, just as an example, you can see here's Mia. She's slowly climbing, and at the 58%, I think that's about her max, and then now she's busy falling off again. So this is over the span of about 3 months. And what you can see with Kokomi is the actual opposite. She's consistently staying right there. Now, if in another 3 months, and this is going to be my prediction, we see that Ito falls off, but Kokomi still stays consistent, and then all you little smart statisticians, and I'm putting that in air quotes, are going to have to reevaluate that little argument that you'd love to give about the low ownership rates. Because here's something that a lot of you miss. A lot of these people that pretend to know statistics forget the fact that all the people, even if they're not a lot, that own Kokomi, also own all of some of these other characters on the list. And this is what people forget. It's not the fact that Kokomi has a 70% pick rate, or that she's high in usage, or that there's low ownership. It's the fact that the people that have her find value with her, and that they do so consistently. So the Better question to ask is not why is Kokomi's pick rate 70% or high, but is why are those people finding value? What is leading them to find value? Is it because Kokomi actually synergizes with some of the other meta characters that those people have, and hence she can comfortably fit into a meta team? I would answer yes. I would answer that I think a lot of people play a variant of Rider National on one half and then some sort of freeze or taser team on the other half, and hence why Kokomi's pick rate is as high as it is. Now you could say, well, what if those people don't have all these other characters? Well, then it just begs the question, if they've got all these other characters that have very low pick rates, why are all of them consistently choosing Kokomi? It would just only further strengthen the argument. And I think the biggest thing here that a lot of people cannot ignore is temporal consistency. In other words, how consistent a character is across time. Now, of course, in the beginning, when Kokomi is like down here, I mean, it's only been a couple of days since her release, and not a lot of people have actually built Kokomi. So obviously these first 2 weeks and so on, you've got to give a bit of leeway and room for people to get the materials, the boss materials and all those things. But once people have built Kokomi, you can see she's pretty consistent and for a substantial period. If we just go by consistency, she definitely has a place in the sort of spiral abyss. And that's what's so cool about the character. Now, the other thing people don't want to mention, particularly the very hardcore meta players, is the fact that the spiral abyss is only 1% of the game. 99% of your journey in Tevat is in Tevat and not in the spiral abyss. And hence, if you looked at the pick rates of people that have Kokomi and use her in the general Tevat, it'll probably be 100%. And that's simple. Why do I need food or a statue of 7 when I've got a portable statue of 7, the most comfy character in the game, and literally she makes shields about 60% redundant with her insane tankiness and healing. Just an absolutely amazing character. And I want to make my prediction. I'm serious about my prediction. If I see Kokomi in the next 3 months being consistently here and Ito falling down, then all of you people that pretended to be statisticians and that wanted to say, oh, not a lot of people own her, therefore she's not good, you're going to eat your words. Consistency is the key. It's not the flavor of the month. Because what does consistency tell us? It tells us which characters are most effective. And what does meta stand for? Most effective tactics available. And that's just where I'm going to end this off. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.